Well, good evening. This is December the 24th, 2014, 11:35, just on the eve of Christmas. Tonight, we want to kind of recap a couple important things, talk about some news, some sports, talk about some what I think Christmas is about, what it's really about. We'll talk about some truth and versus fable. So this evening, first thing up on the list, let's talk about movies. Of course, Sony, with the interview, they've kind of put that on the shelf, but it looks like they got an offer on the table from YouTube to show this thing across the world so they can still get it out there. If everybody will pay a few dollars for it, or Netflix, I think one of them is going to pick it up. Still going to open in independent theaters tomorrow on Christmas Day. It's kind of interesting that the U.S. gets hacked, then all of a sudden this movie comes out about Kim Jong and leader over there, and now they've gotten hacked, and we don't know what they're talking about. So it's tit for tat kind of things. Interesting right here at Christmas time. You know, turn the other cheek and all that. Afraid not. So next on the list, let's talk about Santa Claus. Santa Claus, for some, is a very important figure in our society, especially our young. A lot of them are taught that Santa Claus brings these gifts to our children. And, you know, everyone has dealt with this in some shape or form if you are a parent. So some are totally against Santa Claus because it's kind of a lot of it's about pagan rituals and things like that. Others believe that it's a kind of a spin on the Christian wise men. So there's a lot of different interpretations out there. The only thing that's really important about December 25th, really and truly, is the birth of Jesus. Outside of that, if you're celebrating anything else, you're probably making a mistake. So Jesus is what it's all about. This is Jesus' day. That's, give him the thanks. The fact that we give gifts, yes, we can kind of say that that's because the wise men gave gifts to the children and baby Jesus. So let's make sure that we're giving for the right reasons. But let's talk about stockings. A lot of my followers there, I know here at church, and some of the ones they like the fact that I keep up on all these little topics, and I've always got a lot of things going on. So stockings, let's talk about stockings. Originally, stockings were hung over the fireplace. They were not hung for presents. They were hung to dry. Come on, let's get this right. So, and as a parent who has to buy gifts, empty stockings are a good thing because that means I have more money in my pocket. So let's think about that for a minute. Now, the other side of the thing, if you go back and read the traditions of Santa Claus, whether you believe that or not, the stocking, Santa Claus would ride by the houses with the open windows and throw money in at the stockings. So now if you want to believe in Santa Claus and ride by my house now, I'll leave the front door open, throw all the money in you want. So I'll take that. So that would be cool. I would like that. I would really like Santa Claus to do that for my house. So if that could be taken care of, that would be beautiful. Now on the other hand, if you creep through my house in the middle of the night, it might not be good for you. So be cautious when approaching, dogs and other type of security systems. So, but let's kind of move on to Christmas trees. Christmas trees, as we kind of did a little research tonight, 15th, 16th century, the Germans kind of took this tradition, and it was a Christian tradition where they would decorate trees in the house. Of course, they were not very safety conscious. They put real candles on the tree. Of course, they didn't have electricity, but still, burning flame on a tree that's dying doesn't seem very smart. So they weren't very smart or very safety conscious. I know our guy at work, Safety Pete, man, he'd be all over that. So that wouldn't fly. So, but at the same time, if you go back and look at, there is some things tied to the pagan rituals where Christmas trees were adorned and decorated out in the wilderness, and people prayed to tree gods and fairies and all kind of crazy things. So, just interesting, some of the folklore that goes with Christmas trees and stockings and Santa Claus. Again, we always come back to Jesus. This is really what it's about for us as Christians, is Jesus. If you're not thinking about Jesus and not being blessed and thankful of what's happened this year, then you're probably missing out. So But we do have a couple things we want to give you an update. Millie and I just recently went to New York with Cisco. That was a great trip. We had a great time. Got to see a play, a musical. Got to go down on Madison Avenue. I can't say shopping because I didn't buy anything, but I did get to go looking. How about that? That counts for something. I got to look at an $800 sweater. I got to touch it and then put it down really quickly. That was pretty cool. The guy asked me if I wanted what color I wanted, and I told him the one that was $80 where the decimal point was moved the other way, but he didn't think that was funny. So, I did look for a tie for one of her guy friends, and it was like over $200 for a tie. And I'm thinking, that's a lot of money for a tie. And so we kind of skipped that one, so he'll have to settle for something a lot less than that. So that's just kind of the way that one's going to bounce. And we did get to go to FAO Schwartz. Now, if you check out my Facebook page, you can see the Simba lion, which was like $800. And that was for about a 3-foot tall Simba lion. $800, big lion, stuffed animal. I'm thinking not, but there were people walking out there with them. I don't know where they work, but they definitely don't work where I work. So, and it's amazing. Everything I saw was expensive. I mean, it costs a lot to live in New York. Beautiful city. It's always active. It's 24 hours a day. I mean, the lights never turn off. It's actually more beautiful at night than it is during the daytime. It's a really cool place to visit. It's a little crowded at Christmas time. It's very well decorated. Just a side note, their sanitation department must be the bomb because you've never seen trash get off the streets as fast as in New York. At night, it's on. In the morning, it's gone. It's within a few hours, it's gone. It's amazing. So now let's talk about this fad that's been sweeping the country. Even Jimmy Fallon, I mean, 2 years in a row, we've watched him have the ugly sweaters and the countdown for Christmas, and now we've got ugly sweater contest at work, and we see, and even my son tried to get into that this year with an ugly sweater contest. I just have a hard time going out spending $60, $70 for an ugly sweater you're only going to wear once a year. That's tough. And not to mention, do you notice the people who put these things on? They're not wearing the ugly sweaters. What's up with that? Just kind of thought there. Is it kind of like that movie came out a few years ago where you bring the wacky friend to the party? I mean, so you invite people to an ugly sweater party and then see who shows up with the ugly sweater, and you kind of wear a borderline ugly sweater. So I don't know. It sounds like a trick. Be careful with that. Let's talk about football. So, Chelsea beat Stoke 2-0. That was pretty cool. You thought we were talking about football. We're talking about football. This is real football, where they don't wear pads. So, anyway, Arsenal-Liverpool 2-2 tie. That's kind of bad there. I mean, I hate that for Liverpool. They should have pulled that out. Man City 3-0 over Crystal Palace. Man United 1-1 Aston Villa. That's kind of tough. I hate that because we always kind of like Manchester United. It was pretty cool back in the day. They had a very strong team, not quite what they used to be. So, but everything changes over time. Oh, I do have something to show you. And let me get it ready here. And here you go. One of our little decorations at the house. Here we go. Now, there's a certain guy, friend of Samantha's. He does this quite well. So, when you see him, ask him if he can do this Santa, the twist. He'll know what you're talking about, okay? So just wanted to show you that. So hit him up, let him show you. I do have a challenge that I was asked to put out. One little last minute thing here, a challenge for a certain friend. It's kind of like the ice bucket challenge, but this one you get a whole year to pull it off. So Garrett Cutter, what we would like for you to do to man up and go be a mall Santa for a day. Now, this is a big deal. in preparation for all the things that you got coming down the road, this will be a true test of patience. It's going to test your patience because you're going to deal with some cranky little kids. Really find out how you're going to do with the kid thing. And also putting up with people who just don't quite get what they need to be doing. So, it's always difficult dealing with those who are not in the flow. So, good challenge for you, Garrett. So, I want you to man up. By next Christmas, I want you to go out and be a mall Santa for a day. If you can't find a gig, let me know. We'll hook you up. So, we can take care of this for you. It's not a big deal. Anything else we need to talk about?
Except, Cousin, I think you're doing great.
Think we're all right?
Yeah.
How are we on time?
I think you're doing pretty good. I think we went over all of our points that we need to go over today.
Is that it for today?
Yes,
Well,
I think that's it for today.
it's now 11:48. We've got 12 minutes to Christmas. We've got to go do our New Year's Eve prayers. As you can see in the background, that's Kaz's stocking. Big dog, big stocking. So, yes, we do hang stockings here. It's interesting to put those little things out there for you to think about and brain twisters. But, and we'll just kind of turn around here. As you can see, we do have a tree. Millie's over there. All presents are wrapped, put under the tree. So, and since our fireplace doesn't have a chimney, we have no doubt that Santa Claus will not be coming down our chimney tonight. So, but that's pretty much it. Wanted to kind of hit those things for the end of wrapping up 2014, and wish everybody a blessed year, what's left of it, and a blessed 2015. When all things go wrong, just remember, keep calm and pray. After that, everything else works itself out. Have a good evening. God bless.